we discussed about frequency oscillations, or frequency of oscillations. So we already derived the expression from the previous equations. T1 is equals to RF into C logarithmic of V saturation minus VLT divided by V saturation minus VUT. So from this equation, you need to observe carefully the time taken by capacitor. The time taken by capacitor to charge from the time is taken from the capacitor, or the time taken by the capacitor to charge from upper threshold voltage to lower threshold voltage is same as time required for charging capacitor is same as time required for charging capacitor from VLT to VUT, lower threshold voltage to upper threshold voltage. So the total time required for one oscillation is the total time T. This is for only either charging or discharging. Okay, this is for only either charging or discharging the capacitor from either VUT to VLT or VLT to VUT, whatever it is. But the total time required for one oscillations is given by capital T is equals to 2 capital T1 to capital T1. Substitute T1 value in this 2 into RFC here, that equals to 2 into RF C ln of V saturation minus, this is a plus V saturation only, minus, all of you mute your phone, V saturation minus VLT divided by V saturation minus VUT. This is the total time required for one oscillation. Therefore, the frequency of oscillations can be determined. Therefore, the frequency of oscillations can be determined as F naught is equals to, this is a capital T expression, the frequency of oscillations can be determined as F naught is equals to 1 by T. F naught is equals to 1 by T. Where T required the, where T is the time required for one oscillations. So you need to substitute that T here. That equals to 1 by 2 into RF into C ln of V saturation minus VLT, V saturation minus VUT. So from this F0 equation, the sub values of upper threshold and lower threshold, we get T is equals to 2 RFC ln of 2 RF C into ln of plus V saturation minus R2 into minus V saturation divided by, here you need to substitute VLT value. VLT value you need to substitute here. We know the VLT value R2 into minus V saturation divided by R1 plus R2 into here V sat, this is divided by V sat minus substitute upper threshold value R2 by plus V saturation, R2 into V saturation by plus V saturation by R1 plus R2. From this equation, if the magnitudes of plus V saturation and minus V saturation are equal, let us assume that the magnitudes of V saturation, either positive or negative, those two values are equal. If the magnitudes of plus V saturation and minus V saturation are equal, then what is the T value? T is equals to 2 RFC ln of 2 RF C ln of plus V saturation. This is a plus only. I did not mention in here. Here in the above equation are where. Okay, that is plus only. So V saturation plus V saturation plus V saturation divided by, which means that you need to take common V saturation from these two. One plus R2 by R1 plus R2. Divided by V saturation into 1 minus R2 by R1 plus R2. R2 by R1 plus R2. So this is the equation. Let us assume that R2 by R1 plus R2 is beta. Let us assume that here, R2 by R1 plus R2 this is equals to beta. Let us assume that. Then substitute this value instead of R2 by R1 plus R2, substitute beta. Then simplify the expression T. Total time required for 1 oscillations 2 RF into C ln of here the V saturation will going to cancel, right? Yeah, no need to write that here. Here 1 plus beta by 1 minus beta will get it. This is the T is equals to. Therefore F is equals to. Therefore F is equals to 1 by T 2 RF C ln of 1 plus beta by 1 minus beta. So this is the frequency of oscillations for one frequency of 1 oscillations can be determined like this. Okay, up to now clear? So this is the expression for frequency of oscillations. This is the expression for frequency of oscillations. You need to observe carefully this. I think up to now clear. You don't have any doubt, right? Up to now clear? Next, put heading monostable multivibrator. Monostable multivibrator. Put heading monostable multivibrator. Monostable multivibrator. Monostable multivibrator. You need to draw the diagram first. Draw the diagram, all of you, carefully. Here you need to apply input voltage or trigger pulse Vi. This is the C2, diode D2, this is the R4. R1, R2. Here we will get a V0 value. We need to connect here feedback resistor RA. There is a feedback resistor RF. Inverting terminal, non-inverting terminal. Sorry, here you need to connect one more resistor. R3. Then you need to try here. This is a one capacitor. You need to connect here one more diode. This is a D1 and C1. D1 and C1. This node indicates that VC node. Okay, up to now clear. So this is the diagram for monostable multi-vibrator. Monostable multi-vibrator. It has one stable state and other as quasi-stable state. It has only one stable state and other as quasi-stable state. The circuit is useful for generating the single output pulse of adjustable time duration in response to triggering pulse. The circuit is useful for generating single output pulse. The circuit is useful for generating single output pulse of adjustable time duration in response to triggering pulse. In response to triggering pulse. The width of the output pulse. The width of the output depends only on external component. The width of the output depends only on external component connected to op-amp. This is modified form of astable multivibrator. This is modified form of astable multivibrator. The width of the output depends only on external component connected to op-amp. This is modified form of astable multivibrators. A diode D1 clamps the capacitor. A diode D1 clamps the capacitor voltage to 0.7 volts. Diode D1 clamps the capacitor voltage to 0.7 volts when the output is at positive V saturation. When the diode D1 clamps the capacitor voltage to 0.7 volts when the output is at positive V saturation. A negative is going negative is going, or a negative going pulse signal of magnitude V1. See here we represent that this a negative going pulse signal of magnitude V1 passing through this. This is a look like a differentiator passing through this differentiator R4, C2 and diode D2. This differentiator produces a negative going triggering pulse. Differentiator produce a negative going triggering pulse, which means that this will be generating like this. This will be generating like this negative going triggering pulse. If you are applying here negative pulse signal, if you apply it to this positive input terminal, assume that in stable state the output is plus V saturation and the diode D1 conduct Vc conducts and we see the voltage across the capacitor. C1 gets clamped to 0.7 volts. The voltage at positive input terminal through R1 and R2. The voltage at positive inverting terminal through R1 and R2. R1 and R2. The voltage divider between difference between the voltage divider is plus V saturation. That is, the voltage V0 is R2 by R1 plus R2 into V saturation. The voltage V0 value is equals to positive V saturation into R2 by R1 plus R2. R1 plus R2. So for this you need to draw the graphical representation, then only we'll have clarity. We'll see that. First you need to draw the V input over this one. You need to draw this. This is a V in. Assume that is the TP. Pulse signal time period. You need to draw like this. For first capacitor, we need to draw. The capacitor will charges from reference to maximum, right? First, you need to take a reference level for capacitor. This is the reference level. From this, the capacitor will charges up to VC level. Assume that this is the VC level. It will charges up to maximum here. This is the VC. Discharging. VD means discharging, VC means charging. You need to take this also, like this, discharging one. Assume that is the V discharge. This value will discharging up to this. Or then okay, this is the capacitor waveform. The capacitor will charges from 0 to maximum value VC. Once if it will be reaches to maximum value, again it will comes to discharging like this to some negative V saturation value. Okay, we need to draw that waveform also. Up to this, we need to draw the output waveform. This is the capacitor C waveform. Now we need to draw the output waveform. That output waveform we need to draw plus V saturation to minus V saturation. This is the plus V saturation. Then we need to draw negative minus V saturation up to this point. This is a 0. This is a positive V saturation. This is the minus V saturation. This is the discharging time period, right? Discharging time period. This is the output waveform. Output waveform this. This is the capacitor 1 C. This is the input waveform. Assume that from these expected waveforms, in stable state, the output is positive V saturation, and the diode D1 conducting state. So in the first case, we need to see that, assume that if it is in stable state, the output is positive V saturation only, and the diode D1 in conducting state, or it conducts, and the VC, the output across capacitor C1 gets clamped to 0.7 volts. The voltage at negative input terminal through R1 and R2 voltages The difference between is that is beta V saturation or R2 by R1 plus R2. But we wrote V naught, that V naught equation. V naught is equals to V saturation or R2 into plus V saturation by R1 plus R2. If the negative triggering of magnitude V1 is applied to non-inverting input terminal of op-amp, so that the effective signal at this terminal is less than 0.7 volts. So at this terminal, the effective signal at this terminal is less than 0.7 volts, which means that plus V saturation into R2 by R1 plus R2 value is less than 0.7 volts. Therefore, the output of the op-amp will be switches from plus V saturation to minus V saturation. The output value switches from positive V saturation to negative V saturation. Positive V saturation to negative V saturation. So the diode will now reverse bias, and the capacitor starts discharging exponentially to minus V saturation, which will be discharging up to minus V saturation through feedback resistor RF. The voltage at positive input terminal, is now V naught is equals to minus V saturation R2 by R1 plus R2. When the capacitor voltage Vc becomes just slightly more negative than this value, minus beta V saturation value, then the output of op-amp switches again switches back to plus V saturation. It means that once if the capacitor charges up to maximum value to plus V saturation, after that the diode is in reverse bias and the capacitor switch discharging exponentially to minus V saturation. Once it reaches to minus V saturation through RF resistor, feedback resistor, what will happen? You will get it, the V naught value is equals to minus beta V saturation. That is, V naught is equals to minus V sat into R2 by R1 plus R2. Once if it reaches to that level, again this minus V saturation will becomes charges to up to positive V saturation. So this is the meaning of this statement. When the capacitor voltage Vc becomes just slightly more negative than minus beta saturation, V saturation, the output of the op-amp switches back to positive V saturation again. Therefore, the capacitor C1 now starts Therefore, the capacitor C1 now starts charging to positive V saturation through RF resistor until Vc is 0.7 volts. As the capacitor C gets clamped to voltage. The capacitor C1 now starts charging to positive V saturation through feedback resistor until Vc is 0.7 volts as capacitor C gets clamped to the voltage. So this is the basic operation of monostable multi-vibrator. That multi-vibrator diagram and expected waveforms. After that, we need to calculate the bandwidth of pulse width or time period t. We will discuss calculation of pulse width t of monostable multi-vibrator. We will discuss in the next class 2 to 3. We have a time. Okay, 2 to 3 we will discuss that point. Okay, now we are going to discussing. Now we are going to discussing about